Karoline Leavitt is a rising figure in American politics, recognized for her involvement in conservative activism and her role as a communications strategist. A former assistant press secretary in the Trump White House and a congressional candidate in New Hampshire, Leavitt has garnered attention for her sharp political commentary and her confident public presence. However, headlines that imply indecency or controversy around her image, especially those suggesting inappropriate content, are both misleading and unfounded. Leavitt has built her career on the principles of traditional values, media transparency, and the empowerment of younger conservatives. As one of the youngest individuals to run for Congress, she has repeatedly emphasized integrity, work ethic, and service to country. Her social media platforms and public appearances reflect a commitment to professionalism, policy discussion, and political advocacy. Therefore, attempts to sensationalize her appearance or photos are rooted more in clickbait culture than any genuine scandal or controversy. Photos of Karoline Leavitt that circulate online are generally standard political and personal images, often taken at campaign events, professional engagements, or personal milestones shared with followers. She dresses appropriately for her profession, and her public persona reflects a serious and focused individual. The provocative framing found in some headlines is not supported by the content of the photos themselves, which are in line with what one would expect from any young professional in politics. Misleading titles, like suggesting someone should be alone before viewing certain photos, rely heavily on innuendo to attract attention. In Leavitt's case, these headlines often circulate on questionable websites or through social media posts aimed at generating outrage, engagement, or ad revenue. They play into a broader trend of objectifying female public figures or using suggestive language to undermine their legitimacy. This not only disrespects the individual involved but also detracts from the real substance of their work. Leavitt herself has addressed the challenges of being a young woman in the political spotlight. She has spoken publicly about the difficulties of being taken seriously in a field that still often subjects women to double standards, judging them on appearance rather than ideas or policy stances. Despite this, she has demonstrated resilience and clarity in her messaging, continuing to build her platform and reach constituents with a strong conservative message. These attempts to mischaracterize or over-sexualize public figures are not new. They're part of a larger problem in modern media and online discourse where sensationalism often eclipses reality. Public figures like Karoline Leavitt are especially vulnerable to these tactics because of their visibility and the polarized nature of political debate. For some, undermining her credibility through false narratives is easier than engaging with her political arguments. The real story about Karoline Leavitt isn't about photos or image-based controversies, it's about her ambitions, her role in shaping the next generation of conservative leaders, and the traction she has gained among young voters. Her background includes working in the Trump administration, running for office, and making regular appearances on national news networks to defend her positions. These are the elements that define her public persona and career, not sensationalist claims tied to her appearance. Leavitt is part of a wave of younger conservatives who are embracing digital media, challenging legacy institutions, and appealing to a growing base that feels underserved by traditional political parties. Her platform typically focuses on issues such as government overreach, media bias, energy independence, and economic freedom. These are complex topics that require more attention than cheap tabloid-style gossip can offer. As she continues her political career, it's clear that Leavitt remains focused on policy and engagement, not distractions. Her media presence is carefully curated to reflect her professionalism and commitment to her values. While the internet may always include corners that seek to twist or exaggerate reality, her body of work stands in stark contrast to any misleading headline that seeks to undermine her credibility through suggestive language or deceptive framing. Ultimately, Karoline Leavitt deserves to be evaluated based on her policies, her political efforts, and her contributions to national discourse, not sensationalized misrepresentations. The push to objectify or scandalize professional women, especially in politics, is a trend that needs to be challenged. Looking beyond the headlines and focusing on substance is the only fair and honest approach to understanding who she really is and what she stands for.